Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a table sock. I've been getting quite a few requests from customers to show them examples on how they look, and at the same time I want to make a few for myself inside the warehouse to have them lying around and actually use them day to day so I can show my customers what they actually look like. So stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay guys, so in terms of design, I've already got my template made from previous orders, so I need to now go ahead and crop in the design that I want to the templates. So I've decided to go with a galaxy image because I need it to be a dark image, but at the same time I want to show off the really nice color range we can make with sublimation. So let's go ahead and start doing the setup. So I've already gone and done all the measurements and my template was made from previous orders like I said. So all we need to do is start actually using the template here. So for instance, what we're going to do is just make a few of those. We're going to use one at a time, and then we're going to cut out the image on the inside like so. Delete that, and then we can also minimize that, and there you see we've already got the top done. So we can then go and take these two and move them down to the bottom and do the next one. So the next one is the side. Now for all of these I'm just going to crop the image first, then I'm going to put in my logo in various places. But what I'm going to keep in mind is that yes, it's going to be dark. All of these panels are going to have the same image. When you're doing things that, let's say, line up and you've got a pattern that runs from the side and then over to the middle on top, you want to try and make sure that your pattern lines up really nicely on your design. Otherwise you're going to have so much effort in trying to make sure that it's straight when you're stitching it. So let's go ahead and bring out the next one, and we've got to make sure it's to size. So go ahead and select the side panel. So once you've selected it, we can go ahead and cut it out. Delete that piece, and there you go, there's the next one done. We'll move that down, minimize that, and then we can bring up these two here. So we go ahead and open up the next one. We start from the right hand side. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to not cut, I'm going to copy, because if I had to cut it, I'm also going to be cutting into my other piece of the design on here, and then you're not going to have it on both sides. So we go ahead and push copy on the wrong one, copy. So now that one is done, we can move this down. Now we can do the next one. We go here and we say copy. Now the reason why I'm not only using the one on the right is because I wanted some of this image and some of this on opposite sides of the tablecloth. So there we can delete that one, and as you can see we've got our two different images for either sides of the table. So now before I go and rotate this and put it ready to print, I'm just going to go and get a badge and then put it into the actual design. Okay, so we're going to drag a logo into the corner here. We'll duplicate this one, move it to that side. Want them just in the corner there. I'm going to make an extra one for another badge there. What we'll do is we'll need to move these into the correct places. I'm going to need to merge them so that when we actually set this up to print, it's going to be in the right place. Otherwise, you're going to have pain having to move it around to get it to print. So now I've got those ones done. We can just shrink that down. I'm gonna shrink those away. I'm gonna select this layer, and like I said earlier, we're gonna rotate it so it's upside down so that we can get it to fit in for print. So that side is now done. Those are the small sides. We can go ahead and save that one. Okay, so now that we've done that one, we can now move ahead and do the others. So for instance here we've got our side. Now this side I'm going to use exactly the same as the other, so I'm just duplicating this one. And all we're going to do here is actually, I would like this logo to be nice and big in the front. Again, make sure that you scale it in size and proportionately. You can go ahead and do it to the middle. There we go. That's perfect. Just make another one. What I'm going to do here again is merge those two together. And then we can go ahead and save this one for print as well. Okay, now the last one will be the the top. And again, this time I'm going to be wanting it to be rather large. I want to make it bigger in proportion. And I'm going to center it in the middle. And there we go. Merge those two together. Now that we've saved all of our images for print, we're going to go ahead to our sublimation printer, print this out on paper. From there, we're going to go ahead and sublimate it, and then we should see how nice these colors come out. So let's go and do it. I'm going to be printing on my 120 GSM Transet paper. Now the reason why I use this paper is purely because I want to put a lot more ink down, and I need to use my 8 passover because I want the most amount of ink going into this paper, purely because the material that we're going to be using is called yoga, and it's quite a thick material, very similar to scuba. And you want to try and put as much ink into this material because when it does stretch, obviously it's going to show through a bit of white on the material. And when you're stretching it over the table, it has to have a really good amount of color in it. Now we need to heat press our printed paper and our blank material. We're not going to be using protection paper, and as I said, we're going to be using yoga purely because of its stretch and the thickness of the material. It's going to last quite a long time. And once it's heat pressed, we're going to go ahead and give it to CMT, and we're going to then see how it comes out. Okay guys, we got our table sock back from CMT, and just in case you didn't know what the meaning of CMT is, it's cut, make and trim. Now we're going to quickly go ahead and have a look at how this came out. The first thing is we have to look at where the actual leg is going to sit on the table sock. So when we stretch it over the table and we have to tuck it underneath the leg, we have to make sure whatever we put there, and this little triangle piece of material here has to be quite strong, stronger than the actual material that we used here, which is yoga. And the whole reason why we used it is because it's got such a good stretch to it. Now in terms of the actual print itself, I said that we needed to go for an 8 pass purely because if we have a look here, the color is fantastic. It is really vibrant and it looks really good. Now if we had to stretch this over a table, you can see that you could lose a little bit of color, but I still got a lot of color there, and I'm stretching it quite a bit here. Now if you use a 6 or a 4 pass instead of an 8, you'll end up having, when you stretch, a lot of white, which will end up looking like this the other side where there's no ink, and you'll lose all of your print together because the ink cannot pass through the top layer of the material and it doesn't go into those grooves. So you end up getting a lot of whitewash when stretching this material if you do not put the most amount of ink into it. Then when we're talking about a tablecloth or table sock, in general, it has to make sure that you stretch it all the way around, and it needs to be a little bit smaller than the table itself. Otherwise, when you're putting it on, it's not going to be tight, it's going to be a bit baggy, and it's not going to last as long in the future, because you're going to try and want to use this as much as you can for as long as you can for the price that you're paying. Well guys, this looks fantastic. I really am happy with the way the CMT came out. Now all we have to do is pop it on a table and see how it looks.
"2023 marks the 10th anniversary of AM.CO.za in the South African market. And through that time, we have experienced considerable growth and expansion with the support of our valued customers. To mark our 10th anniversary, we have bought a warehouse at Sunny Rock in East Rand, and we will commence with renovation and construction in 2023. The facility will comprise a massive 2,000 square meter warehouse, 300 square meters of demonstration space, 150 square meters of sales space, and 400 square meters of spare parts storage on the top floor. 550 square meters of showroom space on the middle floor. 400 square meters for Machine.Africa for machine repairs with its own dedicated entrance. And a 250 square meter tea garden and coffee shop for your convenience. Our group now comprises 4 businesses. AM.CO.za is our main business and supplies the machines, spare parts and consumables. Machine.Africa does the installations for our clients and handles on-site and factory repairs. Ambitious Academy ensures that our clients achieve the very best levels of productivity by providing training and certification. And our automated AI-driven online store, Buy This, brings all products online and distributes countrywide. We invite you to be part of this exciting journey as we establish our new headquarters. Watch as the process unfolds and be part of the adventure to meet all of your machinery and productivity needs with this magnificent new facility. AM.CO.za. Achievement matters.